who possessing his right, has not his ray of sun. The die of hunger feels within him the honesty of France. The dignity of the citizen is an internal armor. He who is free is scrupulous. He who votes reigns. Hence incorruptibility. Hence the miscarriage of unhealthy lusts. Hence eyes heroically lowered before temptations. The revolutionary wholesomeness is such that on a day of deliverance, a 14th of July, a 10th of August, there is no longer any populace. The first cry of the enlightened and increasing throngs is, "Death to thieves!" Progress is an honest man. The ideal and the absolute do not filch pocket handkerchiefs. By whom were the wagons containing the wealth of the Tuileries escorted in 1848? By the rag pickers of the Faubourg Saint Antoine. Rags mounted guard over the treasure. Virtue rendered these tatterdemalions resplendent. In those wagons in chests, hardly closed, and some even half open, amid 100 dazzling caskets, was that ancient crown of France, studded with diamonds, surmounted by the carbuncle of royalty, by the Regent diamond, which was worth 30 millions. Barefooted, they guarded that crown. Hence no more Jacquerie. I regret it for the sake of the skilful. The old fear has produced its last effects in that quarter, and henceforth it can no longer be employed in politics. The principal spring of the red spectre is broken. Everyone knows it now. The scarecrow scares no longer. The birds take liberty with the mannikin, foul creatures alight upon it, the bourgeois laugh at it. CHAPTER IV. The two duties, to watch and to hope. This being the case, is all social danger dispelled? Certainly not. There is no Jacquerie. Society may rest assured on that point. Blood will no longer rush to its head. But let society take heed to the manner in which it breathes. Apoplexy is no longer to be feared, but phthisis is there. Social phthisis is called misery. One can perish from being undermined, as well as from being struck by lightning. Let us not weary of repeating, and sympathetic souls must not forget that this is the first of fraternal obligations, and selfish hearts must understand that the first of political necessities consists in thinking first of all of the disinherited and sorrowing throngs, in solacing, airing, enlightening, loving them, and enlarging their horizon to a magnificent extent, in lavishing upon them education in every form, in offering them the example of labour, never the example of idleness, in diminishing the individual burden by enlarging the notion of the universal aim, in setting a limit to poverty without setting a limit to wealth, in creating vast fields of public and popular activity, in having, like Briareus, 100 hands to extend in all directions to the oppressed and the feeble, in employing the collective power for that grand duty of opening workshops for all arms, schools for all aptitudes, and laboratories for all degrees of intelligence, in augmenting salaries, diminishing trouble, balancing what should be and what is, that is to say, in proportioning enjoyment to effort and a glut to need, in a word, in evolving from the social apparatus more light and more comfort for the benefit of those who suffer and to those who are ignorant. And, let us say it, all this is but the beginning. The true question is this: labour cannot be a law without being a right. We will not insist on this point. This is not the proper place for that. If nature calls itself providence, society should call itself foresight. Intellectual and moral growth is no less indispensable than material improvement. To know is a sacrament. To think is the prime necessity. Truth is nourishment as well as grain. A reason which fasts from science and wisdom grows thin. Let us enter equal complaint against stomachs and minds which do not eat. If there is anything more heart-breaking than a body perishing for lack of bread, it is a soul which is dying from hunger for the light. The whole progress tends in the direction of solution. Some day we shall be amazed. As the human race mounts upward, the deep layers emerge naturally from the zone of distress. The obliteration of misery will be accomplished by a simple elevation of level. We should do wrong were we to doubt this blessed consummation. The past is very strong, it is true, at the present moment. It censures. This rejuvenation of a corpse is surprising. Behold, it is walking and advancing. It seems a victor, this dead body is a conqueror. He arrives with his legions, superstitions, with his sword, despotism, with his banner, ignorance. A while ago he won 10 battles. He advances, he threatens, he laughs, he is at our doors. Let us not despair, on our side. Let us sell the field on which Hannibal is encamped. What have we to fear, we who believe? No such thing as a backflow of ideas exists any more than there exists a return of a river on its course. But let those who do not desire a future reflect on this matter. When they say "no" to progress, it is not the future but themselves that they are condemning. They are giving themselves a sad malady. They are inoculating themselves with the past. There is but one way of rejecting tomorrow, and that is to die. Now, no death, that of the body as late as possible, that of the soul never. This is what we desire. Yes, the enigma will utter its word, the sphinx will speak, the problem will be solved. Yes, the people, sketched out by the 18th century, will be finished by the 19th. He who doubts this is an idiot. The future blossoming, the near blossoming forth of universal well-being is a divinely fatal phenomenon. Immense combined propulsions direct human affairs and conduct them within a given time to a logical state, that is to say, to a state of equilibrium, that is to say, to equity. A force composed of earth and heaven results from humanity and governs it. This force is a worker of miracles. Marvellous issues are no more difficult to it than extraordinary vicissitudes. Aided by science, which comes from one man, and by the event, which comes from another, it is not greatly alarmed by these contradictions in the attitude of problems, which seem impossibilities to the vulgar herd. It is no less skilful at causing a solution to spring forth from the reconciliation of ideas than the lesson from the reconciliation of facts, and we may expect anything from that mysterious power of progress, which brought the Orient and the Occident face to face one fine day in the depth of a sepulchre, and made the Imams converse with Bonaparte in the interior of the Great Pyramid. In the meantime, let there be no halt, no hesitation, no pause in the grandiose onward march of minds. Social philosophy consists essentially in science and peace. Its object is, and its results may be, to dissolve wrath by the study of antagonisms. It examines, it scrutinizes, it analyzes. Then it puts together once more, it proceeds by means of reduction, discarding all hatred. More than once, a society has been seen to give way before the wind which is let loose upon mankind. History is full of the shipwrecks of nations and empires, manners, customs, laws, religions, and some fine day that unknown force, the hurricane, passes by and bears them all away. The civilizations of India, of Chaldea, of Persia, of Syria, of Egypt have disappeared one after the other. Why? We know not. What are the causes of these disasters? We do not know. Could these societies have been saved? Was it their fault? Did they persist in the fatal vice which destroyed them? What is the amount of suicide in these terrible deaths of a nation and a race? Questions to which there exists no reply. Darkness enwraps condemned civilizations. They sprung a leak, then they sank. We have nothing more to say, and it is with a sort of terror that we look on at the bottom of that sea which is called the past, behind those colossal waves, at the shipwreck of those immense vessels, Babylon, Nineveh, Tarsus, Thebes, Rome, beneath the fearful gusts which emerge from all the mouths of the shadows. But shadows are there, and light is here. We are not acquainted with the maladies of these ancient civilizations. We do not know the infirmities of our own. Everywhere upon it we have the right of light. We contemplate its beauties, we lay bare its defects. Where it is ill, we probe. and the sickness once diagnosed